Meditation and masculinity. What do they have in common? Stay tuned. Peace and cheers, folks. Mark, Flying Health Coach. Happy insert day whenever you come to the channel, decide to watch the video. Today, we're going to talk about meditation and how that relates to masculinity. Because I feel like there's a really major disconnect these days as to what a lot of younger guys think a man is, right? The reason I bring that up is because I had the exact same thoughts you probably did years and years and years ago when I was becoming my own man as I've grown in my life. So before we get into meditation, masculinity, let's kind of discuss what is masculine, right? But also, what do you think a masculine man is? What does that mean to you specifically, right? So first off, what is masculinity? Well, there's a couple key defining characteristics of a masculine man, right? They are as follows. Not all of them, but a couple key ones that stand out to me. Being direct, right? What is being direct? It's saying what you want and not getting anything less for it, right? It's, I want this, I'm going for it, right? That's being direct. Being assertive is putting some action toward it, right? Is being a little bit aggressive with what you want, right? Because let's be honest, if you are a man going for having passion for something and going for a lifelong goal, you have to be assertive. You have to go for it. You have to put some action toward it, right? So we have direct, decisive, having ambition, having passion, having purpose, right? Purpose, right, is what is your lifelong goal? What is your purpose on this earth? What are you meant to do, right? It's going for that purpose, right? It's going to make you feel alive. It's going to ignite that fire under you every single day. But there's other two things that I feel are drastically overlooked when it comes to being a masculine man. And those, well, three things actually. Being calm, centered, and holding your frame. Okay? Now let's transition into what you think a masculine man is, right? So Hollywood, over the past couple years, or more than a couple years, to me, they do a piss poor job of framing what a man is, right? Look at movies like, Fast and the Furious, right? You watch, men with, it's always greasy hands working on fast cars and all that stuff. Now, caveat to that, if that's your passion and you love doing that and that makes you happy on the inside, that's one thing, right? If you want to join the military and that makes you happy, do that. Point is I see a lot of younger guys these days, they try to put a false front on of what they think a man is. They try to be someone that they're not. And how does that look? Well, it's pretty easy to look and see in public, right? You kind of see a guy in public that's he's trying to be extra loud. He's trying to be obnoxious. Or go to the bar, for God's sakes, you'll see it there. The one guy in a group of friends is trying to be this loud, obnoxious dude and, like puffing his chest out, fist bumping everyone, trying to be like this, like just silly looking gorilla behind a cage. It looks ridiculous. It's not being a man, right? When you think of what being a man is, right? Think of like all the most successful men out there, right? Think of like pro athletes. Think of, all these high-powered, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, completely different people, right? In their own respect, but a lot of defining characteristics these people have is their ability to be focused, be calm, be centered, right? You have to have those types of traits when it comes to pursuing your purpose in your life, because let's be honest, we all know that stuff is going to happen in your outside life you don't have any control over, right? And I'm willing to bet any money, if you think back in your life right now, and let's say you had a goal you were going for, when something happened you couldn't control in your outside life, and you didn't remain calm, you didn't remain centered, you became super reactive, right? Made a decision based upon emotion, that probably had a pretty drastic effect on your decision-making ability to keep going forward, right? One thing, unfortunately, a lot of guys use is drinking or drugs, right? Something happens in life you can't control, you're on your mission, you're on your purpose, and you don't know how to stay calm and not reactive. What's the first thing a lot of people go for? They go for sedation. They go for, I'm just going to drink this pain away. What happens then? You probably make more bad decisions. What happens the next day? Now you feel like crap. You wasted an entire day. Point is, we got off topic a little bit. With what boys, young boys, right? Young boys in their 20s, or early teens, and even in their 30s. I mean, I'm 37, but I see a lot of people my age just still acting ridiculous, like a caged monkey. It's stupid to watch. But what they think a man is very much false, right? So what makes a masculine man? Well, we already talked about a couple of key characteristics: being direct, being decisive, being assertive, going for your purpose, right? Having a purpose, living your purpose, and walking to the beat of your own drum, right? But again, the three things that are drastically overlooked: being calm, centered, and non-reactive, and holding your frame. Because again, if you can't do those things, right, we all know life's not predictable. We don't know how unpredictable it's going to be, but we can't predict what's going to happen. You can to some certain extent, right? I know that if I do X, Y, and Z workout nutrition-wise, I'm going to improve my muscularity and whatever. If I do certain things financially, I'm going to improve my financial situation. But the point is, rules change in life sometimes. You can't predict everything. So when things happen, you have to be able to come back to a state of mind that's going to keep you calm and centered and non-reactive, right? Because again, go back to that question, think hard. When something did happen to you, how did you react to it? Did you keep your calm? Did you stay centered? Did you keep your frame, your state of mind? Or did you get really reactive? And when you got really reactive, what was the outcome? Was it what you wanted? I'm willing to bet it probably wasn't, right? Now, let's be honest, right? As a man, when things do happen, you're not always perfect. Sometimes you do get too pissed off. You do get angry. You do raise your voice, right? That happens. That's just part of having testosterone. It just is what it is. But the key is more often than not, is to be able to hold your frame. So before we get into how to do that, take a quick pause. Please don't forget to like and subscribe up in the corner if you like what you see for more content. My email, flyinghealthcoach@gmail.com for one-on-one coaching. Again, your first coaching call is free. Last but not least, as I fix my hat, my book, Flying Health Coach Guide, How to Start to Un-F Your Life. 2 links in my YouTube page. One is a free download of the book, about 13, 14 pages. If you like what you read, the link below that takes you to purchase the book for $6.99 on Lulu. If you don't like what you read, cool too. Doesn't affect me none. Back to the content. So, how can you become more calm, centered, and hold your frame, right, when shit hits the fan, right? Because you know what's going to. Just is what it is. It's life. If you're living life every single day, something's going to happen. It's going to try to knock you off your center, right? And it's going to challenge you to hold your frame and to be calm. Insert meditation. Now, the key thing with this video is I don't want you to think meditation has to be this. Sitting here, crisscross applesauce, plucking your fingers together and doesn't have to be that. Now, I like doing that for me because it helps. That's what's helped me really be calm and centered. And when things do happen in my life, I can breathe through it, right? But for me, I also like building model airplanes. I like flying. I like learning about aviation, right? I like reading my variety of books that I have, right? So I have a lot of things for me that help keep my mind and help me keep my state of mind I need to be calm and centered. So for you, and I'm sure you have a couple examples right now you can think of, what things in your life help you stay centered, right? What things in your life bring you joy, bring you happiness, right? Because all those emotions are right along the same vibrational frequency with being calm and centered. Joy and happiness, right? All of it's up on that upper echelon of vibrational energies. So, is meditation beneficial? Is doing this crisscross applesauce a couple times every now and then throughout the week helpful? Absolutely it is. Do you have to do it for a half hour all the time? No. When I'm driving sometimes, I'll just breathe in 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, breathe out for 6 seconds, nice and slow. Sometimes I do 4x4 square breathing. Breathe in 4, hold 4, breathe out 4, pause 4, and continue that, especially when I can start to feel like my agitation get a little higher. So for me, it's a mixture of breath work, it's journaling throughout the week, it's doing some meditation throughout the week, it's getting a chance to fly when I can, it's learning about aviation, it's reading my books, it's building model airplanes when I can. It's doing a culmination of all that stuff throughout the week that keeps me centered. So again, put it back on you. What things in your life do you really truly love doing that help you be calm and centered? Okay? Because, excuse me, that's what masculinity is, guys. It's not just being direct, decisive, aggressive, assertive, right? Those are characteristics, yes, if used helpfully, but it's also calm, centered, and one of the biggest ones is, guys, purpose, right? Are you purpose driven? Do you have a goal in your life that when you wake up every day ignites your fire, right? It doesn't matter what the goal is. It doesn't matter if your goal is to be the best plumber in the world, the best pianist in the world, the best violin player, best chef, best pilot, whatever. Point is you have purpose. You have purpose that drives you, right? And that purpose takes over everything in your mind, right? Now, if what you're doing is truly important to you, you have to remain calm and centered going for your purpose, right? You can't be reactive. Not to say it won't ever happen, but you have to have ways in your life that are going to keep you grounded, right? Because again, and we know it will, when things happen out here, they can't have a drastic effect on you in here. They can't knock you off your purpose. They can't knock you off your frame. Because if they do, now you're no longer going for your purpose, right? Now you're just reacting emotionally. When you do react emotionally and you get knocked off your center, knocked off your purpose, you're no longer acting like a man anymore. Now you're acting like a little boy who's got emotions. Okay? Again, not to say you can't have emotions. It's not this. But being a man is about being direct, decisive, assertive, purpose-driven. But it's also the bigger things that are overlooked drastically, being calm, centered, and holding your frame when shit hits the fan. How can you react when that stuff happens? Can you keep your state of mind? State of mind that you need to keep going forward towards where you want to go. Because that stuff's magnetic, guys. It's 100% magnetic, right? You're going to notice that when you start to be less reactive in life, you're going to make better decisions. When you make better decisions, you're going to naturally just feel better. You're going to be going towards the things that you want. That's going to draw more good people in your life. And before you know it, as you incorporate these certain tactics in your life that help you bring joy, happiness, peace, calm, and centeredness, the more you do that stuff, the more your entire world around you is going to start to change. It takes time, but it's going to happen. Just make the choice, make the decision, and go for it. Hope this video helps, guys. Focus on being calm, centered, and holding your frame, less reactive. Find ways that help you do that specifically. Okay? Peace.